Oh no, here it goes again.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
He's a big boy.
Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
When did Trey Lance have you?
We loved him from the beginning, but just to play out the process the way we did, I really started to like Trey as a person to be the quarterback of your team.
Where does Jimmy G reside in all of this?
Jimmy's definitely our starter right now.
The Rich Eisen Show. Today's guests: Carolina Panthers head coach Matt Rhule, Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick, plus writer and director John Lee Hancock. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
All right, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Rich Eisen Show. I am your humble host, Rich Eisen, thus the name of the show. I'm just walking everybody through everything, okay? Just one by one, segment by segment. Good to see you over there, Chris Bachman.
What's happening, man?
Good to see you over there, Mike Del Tufo.
Good to see you, Rich.
How are you, TJ Jefferson? A big day for TJ Jefferson.
What up, Rich?
We'll explain that in a moment here for everybody. 844-204-RICH, number to dial right here on our program, right here on NBC Sports on Peacock, this Rich Eisen Show radio affiliate. We also want to say hello to our friends on Sirius XM Radio, Odyssey. If you are listening to us on free streaming, you can do that. Go check everything out. All of our links are tweeted out every single day right before our show by my buddy Chris Brockman. At Rich Eisen Show is our Twitter feed. Same with Instagram. Same with Facebook. YouTube.com/Rich Eisen Show. I want to thank everybody out there who's subscribing. If you haven't, please be part of it. We are also here to chat with. 844-204-RICH, number to dial. Closing in on over 260,000 members of the YouTube community that have subscribed to the show. We want to thank everybody for taking everything in here on our program. Okay. You know, I've been at this football thing for a while, right? I've been at this football thing for quite some time. Hooking up with the old NFL Network in 2003. By the way, I've just been told that the schedule release show that has been scheduled for the first time on May the 12th, I will be broadcasting from SoFi Stadium.
Nice.
At Hollywood Park.
Nice. Oh.
Not our new studios. Literally, they're going to set up
wow, like 50-yard line?
I have no idea.
That's amazing.
I'm not sure where. But that means I'll be hanging out in SoFi Stadium in Hollywood Park for a second straight month.
That's awesome.
Because, that's where I ran my 40s last month, and we've got Michael Vick on this program to talk about that. But I've been at this for quite some time, and 18 years. And 2005 was the first year that I hosted an NFL draft. Now, 17 of those in the books. I don't know if you're aware of that number.
I've heard that somewhere.
I had no clue.
But 05 was the first year we actually covered an NFL draft pick by pick. It was in our Los Angeles studios. 06 was the first year we were at site in Radio City Music Hall. And that was the year that Mike Mayock came on and did his mock draft, a Mike Mayock mock draft, and walked us through his mock draft. And this is when we all realized Mike was going places, that Mike was something special, that Mike was something different than many of the rest. Mike pegged Aaron Rodgers to be selected by the Packers 24th overall before the draft. Check it out. Go to YouTube. It's there.
Oh, it's real. Yeah.
It happened. I remember we were all like, what are you, really? Like, he's going to go that far. He's going to last that long.
Yep.
And, this is before Twitter, before anything's out there. And, that probably would have gone viral, almost as viral as Chris Sims saying Justin Fields was going to go to Tampa 32nd overall prior to this year's draft. But, Mike called his shot, and sure enough, it happened. And we all know the story. We all know the story about how Favre was not happy about it, how he froze Rodgers out at the very beginning, and then it took Rodgers several years to get on the field. Favre was going to retire, then he was not, then he was retiring, then he wasn't, then he was going to the Jets because it was over everybody's dead bodies that they would trade Favre within the conference, and we all know Brett wound up back in the division, and that made for a lot, and so on and so forth. If you had told me then, throughout that entire process when I was on NFL Total Access, recording the drama, reporting the drama, number of times I would say to call Susie up and say, hey, Suze, those dinner plans that we had, out. We're not having them because I got to stick around for Favre. Or, hey, that New Year's Eve, hey, I'm coming home. I'll be at the party, actually, because Brett told Andrea Kramer, after the game on NBC Live, after Sunday Night Football, which was the last game of the year on New Year's Eve, that he was actually coming back. So that saved us all the trouble sticking around. I mean, the number of times that I had to sit around waiting for Favre to make a decision, and it affected me and everybody on the NFL Network, I lost track. If you had told me then, in many of those downtimes, many of those moments that I'd be just staring at the space, staring at the ceiling, saying, is Favre going to come out of the locker room and tell us what we need to know now or what? Or the number of times that we would spend our entire show, is Favre retiring? Is he not? Is he thinking about it? If you had told me in any of those downtimes that Aaron Rodgers at age 37 would be in the role of Favre with somebody else in the role of Aaron Rodgers, I would have said, you are absolutely pooping me. I'm best dad ever.
Bat poop crazy.
But that's what's happening. It is deja vu all over again, to use the great Yogi phrase. I cannot believe we're sitting here today on May the 4th. Be with you.
Be with you, yeah.
2021, talking about Aaron Rodgers in the role of 4. And some kid named Jordan Love in the role of Aaron Rodgers. And he, just like Aaron Rodgers, is sitting in the draft room saying, someone going to take me? Or obviously in a pandemic, not in a draft room. But you know what I'm saying? 26th overall. First round selection. Except nobody watched Jordan Love play a lot of his football in college the same way that we were watching Aaron Rodgers, shock USC in the Pete Carroll era a couple of times and just do a lot of great things at Cal, watching some Pac-10 football back in the day. Pac-10. I can't believe we're in this situation where Rodgers is forcing the hand of the front office of Green Bay, and the front office of Green Bay, we love you. All those great years, incredible. But, we got this young guy that we drafted. You're going to turn 38 this fall. We know you're the MVP, but I don't know the contract terms that's being discussed with Aaron Rodgers and his representative and the Packers that went kablooey, and having all the reports of their discontent and discord made public on Thursday. I don't know what those contract demands are, but as I said yesterday, I believe the demands that Rodgers and his representative are putting on the table make it difficult for the Packers to put Jordan Love on the field early enough for them to understand whether a fifth-year option should be picked up. The amount of reps that would take for Jordan Love to even get ready to get on the field to prove whether his fifth-year option is worthy of being picked up. The contract demands that Rodgers is making has to be a timetable that Green Bay cannot accept if Jordan Love is their quarterback of the future, and the time is ticking, and Rodgers knows it, and he's forcing the hand of the front office. And then you've got the front office sitting there saying, we're the ones who are the stewards of this franchise long after Aaron Rodgers is gone. We saw this kid. It was an opportunity to have him. He wasn't even ready to be that backup guy if Rodgers got hurt. And you know how many years Rodgers had gotten hurt, and then the Packers season goes to crap.
Yep.
He was a third-string quarterback last year. He wasn't even ready to fill that role last year. And who knows if he's ready to fill that role this year. And now the conversation is maybe he's going to have to fill the role of starter come September. I still, even though I heard driving in today on Dan Patrick's show, coming in to work, and Dan precedes us on NBC Sports on Peacock every day, Rob Domofsky, who covers the Packers for ESPN and has been around forever, put it at a 5% chance that Rodgers is going to be the starting quarterback week 1. Maybe less than. Because he sees everybody deeply entrenched. I still can't believe that they will trade him. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be wrong. Tune in after the June 1st salary cap threshold or deadline or whatever. The new league year started, as we know, back in March. But if you trade somebody or cut somebody after June 1, they're not going to cut him. But if you trade somebody after June 1, the salary cap ramifications are easier to accept and absorb. Another reason why there was no trade on draft night. Along with the fact that they're not going to throw something like that together in 2 seconds.
Yeah, right.
And as we learned yesterday on this show, Kyle Shanahan was the one who called Matt LaFleur, his old buddy.
Said, hey, bud.
On Thursday, after all these reports coming out. And he said, I didn't want to wake up Friday morning and seeing Aaron Rodgers on another team that he was potentially on the block. I had to call my friend. So you're not throwing that all together. And plus, it wasn't going to work. But after June, now you can actually make a deal with somebody. And again, I said yesterday, what I'm hearing was my take on Friday, that why would Rodgers, if he wants to control the end game of his career, go and accept a trade into the division with the best young, most dynamic player who is compared to his skill set more than anybody in the league in Mahomes, where the Chiefs are building a dynastic run, having gone to the last 2 Super Bowls, which Rodgers could not, because the last 2 NFC representatives bounced him in the championship game. Why would he go then to the division where Mahomes lives and resides? And like I said, I was then told in return by a couple of people that, Rodgers is at GOAT level. Like that sort of stuff is not going to stop him.
No.
If he thinks it's a great spot for him where you're ready to win now. You know what's a great spot for him, ready to win now?
Green Bay.
Boom. On the nose, sir. That's why I think somebody in that front office will realize, as much as you want your young quarterback in Jordan Love to be your next resort, what if you gave him a couple of years and you're like, okay, we're just going to have to pick up a 5th-year option sight unseen? Sight unseen. And by that point, Jordan Love will be potentially ready to go. 3 years in this system. Rodgers will be 40 at that point in time. You got the final remaining years. Maybe you get Brady-like success in those years after the Patriots sent Jimmy G away. We all know the Patriots and Brady won 2 more times. And Love could be ready by then after being inactive all 16 games in his first year. I'll tell you this.
Nice higher register.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out because Rodgers' best spot is to stay put. That's why he's making all this noise. He wants to stay put.
Yeah, but he wants to be paid like Pat Mahomes.
He also wants to have the security where he's not going somewhere on a timetable that's not his own.
Right.
And the Packers want Jordan Love to be the next guy. And they don't do deals with guys who are 38, 39, and 40 and paying guaranteed dollars on the come. They don't do that. Maybe they got to figure that out. But I'll tell you this. If I'm in the league right now, and I know this might be a total waste of time, but you want to take your shot, you ask for Rodgers, obviously first. You're told no. You know what you do?
Ask for Jordan Love.
Yes! Ask for Jordan Love. Ask for him. And see what happens. What a next several weeks and months there's going to be. Terry Bradshaw's chimed in on it. We'll talk about that later on in the program, calling Aaron Rodgers weak. John Lee Hancock, the director of The Little Things, which is out on DVD. I'm holding it up right here. Talk about Academy Award winners. Well, they are. Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto all in this.